Everyone, it's Tuesday, August the 5th, and wanted to put out here an XRP update video, just overall, also a market video here. XRP is doing what was to be expected, was gonna, said we would probably bounce in this area around 275-ish. We would come back up here to retest 305. Looks like we got almost to 310, 309, and now we're seeing an internal pullback here. This would be our wave 2. I do look for this to be a shallow wave 2. So, typically wave 2s on XRP go as deep as the 702, 786. I really wouldn't be looking for that here because that would put us in a pretty precarious situation for the question of this to be lower lows. And this was only a wave 1. And now we would be putting in a wave 3. That would come down here to at least 250, and then ultimately a wave 5 down to 221. I really don't see that happening. I don't see that as being the most likely scenario, especially if we're still in this bull cycle. But Bitcoin's the booger. And with Bitcoin, you've had a much deeper retracement here this morning. It's coming back down here to tease the 112K area. Maybe they want to make just a slightly lower low here on Bitcoin. This could have been 1, 2, 3, 4. Bitcoin could be putting in a lower low, maybe to fill a CME gap here in the 111 area. But I really would not look for XRP to follow that same direction. I think XRP has been front running Bitcoin as far as where it's at in its wave count. And so XRP had a much stronger bounce here than what Bitcoin did, as you can see. So we're still here on the 4-hour. We're still below all the moving averages for Bitcoin. But for XRP, we actually got above those moving averages for a couple of 4-hour closes. So I would look for us to hold internal here. We might come down to 291 in that area, but I really wouldn't look for us to even come down to the 618. Just because of, I just think that would get us too low. It would bring us back below the 400, the 4-hour 200 EMA moving average there. This is currently wave 2. And then after wave 2 is complete, either here or here, then we'll start working on our wave 3 impulse, in my opinion. If we're done, we're done. So obviously that could be possible. We could roll over here. Bitcoin could go sub $100,000 to like 98,000. And that would be our top signal. And we would probably put in a B wave up to 109, 110, and then start to roll over for the new bear market. I don't think that's likely. I think we're still in the bull market. And I think we have higher highs to make here. So that's what we're looking at. The reason I have these white dotted line with these white dotted vertical lines here on the chart is I was looking at something very interesting on the XRP spot premium, the spot versus perpetual premium averaged out dollar indicator. This is something that TraderView2 on X at TraderView2 Dom put together, and I was just doing some back studying on that indicator, looking at where RSI was, also this new Kimchi premium averaged out indicator as well that he has created. So things are looking good. I'm not really worried about this little pullback here. Again, I don't see this wave 2 being very deep. It looks like XRP is holding up stronger than what Bitcoin is currently, which is a good sign. That means we probably continue here. Probably wave 3. I would love to see a new wave 3 that would break the old all-time high, would come up here to wick, wave 3 up here around 415 would be awesome. And then 4, and then 5 coming in at 6. This would be your larger degree wave 3, pullback, and then probably what it's looking like is probably a final blow off top. This is the likely count. I don't think we can really even count this as an impulse. This was our wave 1. This was our wave 2. This is wave 3. That's 4. And let's just go ahead and call that 5. We can hope for $11, right? Let me make that a different color. different degree. That's the primary. Let's make that red. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing is this was your one wave. That's two. We're starting our big third. Big third will take us to 620, probably a pullback to 5-ish for wave 4, and then a final blow off to, you know, $9, $10, $11, somewhere in there. So that's my count, what I'm currently seeing. I think this was too deep for a wave 4, so I'm thinking this was more like a wave 2, a shallow wave 2, albeit. But, you know, if you come and measure that, let me move this white line so we can see the price action. Yeah. We front ran the 50 fib retrace. I just think that this was too low for a wave 4. You know, again, Elliott wave is somewhat subjective, but when you've been doing it for 8 years, you've kind of learned the dance, and you know, that's what we're looking at. So I think we're starting our wave 3. Obviously, we need to hold internal here for that to count to be valid. But yeah, those are my current views on the market, and we will see you down the road. Thanks.